Number 6 is, do stepdaddy and baby daddy have the same responsibility toward a baby mama? This came with a link. Hold on a second. Let me grab it. You guys probably saw all the discussion about this on social media. Let's take a look at this link.
Look, y'all. Every day my baby daddy come here with one meal for my child. But I have 3 other kids. We have 1 kid together, but he only want to come and bring one thing to McDonald's. But what about my other kids? How come you can't feed my other kids McDonald's though? Like, that's bogus as hell. Like, you're not finna sit here and make my other kids feel left out, and you're only bringing one child something to eat. Look, there you go. And I bet you he only got one thing in there. I bet you he don't even.
This lady really lost her mind. Bogus? What's bogus is you have a bunch of kids with different baby daddies. If you had one father for all your children, you wouldn't be having this problem right now. He's bringing food there every day for his own kid. He's not responsible for the other ones. Shout out to all the ladies and all the fellas who sent this video in. Y'all literally flooded me with messages on this one right here. So take a second to make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. Click that notification bell for all updates. Not going to waste any time. Let's go ahead and get into it.
I'm finna expose out of him so people can see how he really is. It ain't more than enough food in that bag for everybody.
Ma'am, you are not exposing him. You're exposing yourself. You're looking like a donkey right now.
What's up? Because I'm finna expose you. What? Because that don't look enough for all my kids. That don't look enough for all my kids. What is that? That's just one burger? One burger, one fry?
What do you mean?
Okay, what about my other kids?
What about your other kids?
Okay, but them your kids' siblings though.
And why is she doing all this yelling? She's crazy. You see why she had multiple kids and multiple men leave her. Oh yeah, on top of that, recording him. This is crazy.
What are you talking about?
Them my kids, them your kids' siblings though. So my other kids finna be left out.
You didn't feed them?
You know I don't get my food stamps to the 7.
Listen, it's not my problem.
You see how she's trying to shame and guilt him? How is it his responsibility to feed all your kids just because you didn't manage your food stamps properly? Y'all already know what they do. They go to the grocery store. They'll be walking with 2 baskets of groceries with cereal. They feed the kids all the cereal, and then they go and load up on steaks and seafood for themselves. Ma'am, you are not managing your food stamps properly. If I got her records over the last 30 days, I'll be able to prove to you. The government gave you enough food stamps. You're not managing them properly. And now you're trying to make it his fault. If you can't afford to feed your kids, you shouldn't have custody of them. But then again, how can you not afford to feed the kids if the government, they're cutting a check for you every month? Probably even selling it to people for money for her lace fronts.
But if you're trying to help out though, you're not helping out.
I'm not trying to help. I'm trying to help my son.
How are you helping your son when you're only getting food for just him and not the other kids, his siblings? Them are his siblings though. He's not finna eat in front of all his other siblings and they're not eating on McDonald's. No, why do I gotta
bring him out to the car?
No. He's not finna eat that at all if you can't bring enough for everybody.
So you're telling me that I gotta bring, so when I bring my son food, I gotta bring your kids food too now?
Yes.
You sound dumb.
How is that dumb? You sound dumb. You sound dumb.
Where are they daddies at?
Exactly. That's a good question. Where are the fathers of the other kids? But I say this all the time. This is what they do. When they have kids by multiple men, the one that she's going to deem responsible for all of them is the most capable, the one with the most money, the most active. She's going to automatically assume that he should be responsible for all of the kids. Even when it comes to child support, they're going after the man with the highest value. And they're not just going to use that money to support their kid. They're going to use that money to support all of their kids. This is why you don't date single mothers. And then you see how unreasonable she is. He's like, okay, fine. You don't want him to eat the food in front of his siblings. He can hang out with me for a little bit, eat his food, and then go back. She's like, no, he's not going to have it at all. So she's going to stop his son from 1, spending time with his father, and 2, accepting food from his father just because the other kids can't have it.
Nobody told you talk to them other. You have them other kids. Them your responsibility. They're not my responsibility.
Okay, but if you're gonna bring one, you need to bring it for all. How do that shit look that I'm letting one child eat McDonald's and all the rest of the kids can't eat no fucking McDonald's? You know I get food stamps on the 11th.
Three kids that ain't mine.
Yeah, they're his siblings. You knew what you was getting into when you had a baby with me. Yes, you did.
You expect me to take care of kids? They're not my kids.
Okay, but you still had a baby with me who have kids with other people. I still have other kids. Because I'm exposing everybody think you such a motherfucking good daddy. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're full of shit in this shit. You only come here with one piece of food for one child.
The child that's mine, silly.
Did she say that he came there with one piece of food? But seriously though, ma'am, you're being unreasonable. You can't expect for this man to bring food for all your kids every day. And then you see how she's up here trying to ruin his image as a good father and make it seem like he's being a bad father because he's unwilling to pay for her other kids too. If you want him to have food so bad, why didn't you just send him the money to bring the other kids food? No, but you think that you're so entitled that he's supposed to pay for all of them? Who said that his budget could afford food every day for all of them? He's not responsible for all of the kids. You are. He's only responsible for his.
No, that's dumb that you can't feed the other kids. Don't feed nobody at all then. He can't take that. He can't eat it.
Maybe if you had one or two, I could maybe. You got it's 3 extra kids. What the all like going to my account, spending money on all those kids. Them not my kids.
Them are your kids' siblings though. Dumb.
So that's what you gonna go with? That's the one you gonna
Those are your fucking kids' siblings.
That means
yeah. So don't. No, I didn't say you have to take care of them. You can bring them something to eat if you bring one something to eat.
I bring them food every other day. What do you mean?
Exactly, but you don't never bring food for the other ones. You know I get my food stamps on the 11th.
Babies.
Okay, but I'm saying we share the same kid as well.
Absolutely. So if you want to, if you feel like I feel away about me, take him in the room and let him.
I'm not taking my kid in the room.
Send him down to the car. He ain't got to eat for this, but come right out to the car and eat with me.
No. You know what? Fine. Give it here.
Thank you.
Give it here. Give it here. Give it here. Done. He ain't eating this. You. Because you ain't bringing up for all the other kids. You stupid. Selfish is like you're dumb as hell. You're dumb as hell. He's not finna eat that. Dumb. He not finna do that. You can't do it for all. Don't do it for none of them. But stupid. Thought I was finna take that today. Yeah, I had another thing for him today. No, he can't take it today.
Now I know she ain't just throw that food down. See, this is why you don't compromise with them. He's talking about if you have one or two, then maybe. No, if she cannot afford to take care of her kids and feed them, then she shouldn't have them. And this should be evidence that she don't know how to feed her kids and take care of them for you to be able to go ahead and get custody of your own son. Keep talking about her food stamps coming on the 11th. Okay, well, from the 11th to the 11th every month, you should be meal planning, shopping within your budget. You can't afford Whole Foods or Publix. You got to go to Walmart. And you can't buy name brand food. You got to get great value. Stop buying all that cereal and learn how to cook. Like, I don't feel sorry for her. You're not even working to feed them. The government is feeding them. Better start couponing or something. But of course, she doesn't know how to manage her food budget. She couldn't even manage her thought pocket. She got 4 kids by multiple men. Like, what's supposed to happen on Christmas? When he's bringing his son over a gift, he's supposed to bring one for all your other kids too? But yeah, like I say all the time, this is why you don't date them. She's already got a kid from another man or 2 different men. Then you are going to be number 3, okay? But let's go ahead and get the conversation started below in the comments. Do you believe he's wrong for not bringing the other kids food? Or is he only responsible for his own son? Special thank you to the contributors of the channel, Quest Peach, Ricardo, and our brother Dark Power. I appreciate all of you for donating. And I also want to shout out everybody who sent in requests this week, the ones who really...
All right. Entitled Single Mom of 4 goes viral. Mad he only bought food for his son and not her other kids too. This is Shoot the Breeze topic number 6 tonight. The prompt says, do stepdaddy and baby daddy have the same responsibility toward a baby mama? The learning curve said, baby daddy is not daddy or stepdaddy. They are different. So I saw this story, and I'll be honest with you. once I saw the McDonald's, eating McDonald's stuff, I just passed it by. This is the most I really learned about it right here. Some silly shit, to be sure. Kevin Curry 42, what did you take from this, and how do you respond to the prompt?
Um, I mean, this is the first time I saw it. I saw it also on social media, but I didn't pay attention to it again when I heard McDonald's, same as you. But now that I'm seeing it, this is embarrassing, you know. But my advice is to a lot of you young men, you gotta be careful who you share your sperm with, because this could be you being exposed. You know, so-called exposed. It's not really exposed, but being humiliated on the internet for being a good father. You know, the other thing I'm seeing too is this woman is like is like a division now. Like, oh, if my kids can't have McDonald's, your son can't have McDonald's either. So now she's turning his son against him, and also her two other kids against him. You know, which he has nothing to do with them. You know, but this man though, you know what I'm seeing is a good father that comes in to give his son, even if it's McDonald's, to give his son something that his son wants. You know, but then she's being like the way she's going. But if this man was smart too, you know, the first part of being smart, what he did was to walk away from the situation that didn't make it any worse. But he can use this video in court, as the lady said in the end, to try and get, you know, custody of his kid. You know, she can't. It's obvious now that she can't really afford to have those kids. So this is his chance to take over. But this was embarrassing, as Julian will say, another L.
So, Kare, you don't think that because I have a kid by this woman, I also have to look up for her other kids as well? You don't think the way it should be?
Listen, the way I look at it, man, what if this guy's struggling? It's like only thing I can afford is my son. I got my rent to pay and everything. I can't keep feeding, your other kids. That's not my problem. I know it sounds cold. I can help some of the time, but I can't do it all the time for you.
Mm-hmm.
That's not my responsibility. I already punished myself by breeding with you. Let me do my punishment. But damn, yeah. But that's not his responsibility, though.
All right, thanks for that. Let me go to the forecast this time. The forecast, what say you to this?
Yeah, I agree with that, brother. You know what I'm saying? For me, like for me, I don't have kids myself, you know what I'm saying? And I would prefer to have with somebody who don't have kids themselves, but you got to be careful about the person that you're with, you know what I'm saying? Now I think everybody should be able to do what they want to do, but I don't think he's not entitled to do anything like that, you know what I'm saying? But like I don't really know what to say about this one though.
In the chat, the learning curve says you cannot expect a man to be responsible for all future vagina actions. LOL. I and past ones too, right? Like you can't expect a dude to be responsible for what you did before. Like no, you know what I mean? But I'm curious to hear what others have to say about it. Let's go to Brother Bakari. Brother Bakari, what say you to this? I know.
Okay, can y'all hear me?
Yes, we hear you now.
Okay, so me, I'm different, right? There ain't no way in the hell I would go in a house with food for a child and don't have them for other kids. See, everybody is focused on the woman. Be careful who you have sex with. No, I'm talking about the children. She's ratchet, and as far as I'm concerned, he's a punk. Because ain't no way you even taught that you come on, y'all parents never told you don't take no food to nobody's house if you ain't got enough for everybody. Cause I know y'all done heard that.
Yeah, don't eat in front of people.
Yes, and that's just absolute, and that's him being a punk, and he took it there. She's ratchet and he's a punk. If you ain't got enough, you and your son, instead of saying we can sit, what type of mess is that? We can sit in the car to eat. Why didn't you sit in McDonald's and eat then? If you didn't want to eat, he did it to get a reaction, and he got the reaction. I don't know about the relationship. I would say maybe she broke up with him. I don't know, but he did that to get a reaction. Because if you went to McDonald's, don't eat the food at McDonald's. Don't eat the food in the car. You drive all the way wherever to the house so your child can sit in front of his brothers and sisters or whatever and say, my dad bought me this and I'm going to eat and y'all don't have McDonald's. Come on, man. Y'all know that's rude. You know it ain't right. But hey, so it will come back to it take a village. See, I'm from the country and that's how we get down. We going to feed one another, right? So now you have to look at this because these black people, and we have to look at this as a broad on a broader spectrum. You can see just in this relationship and the response that you get from black people that I've heard black men say he ain't responsible. No, you're not responsible. Even with the woman at the broader spectrum, now you can see why black people don't look out for one another. I'm not responsible for you. I don't care about you. Long as mine is taken care of, everything black has turned I, me, mine. So with him, I don't know how far the McDonald's is from that house, but I'm going to say it again. They could have eaten McDonald's. If he wanted to spend more time with his son, they could have eaten McDonald's. He could have had his child eat in the car on the way to the house. But if you're going to go to that house and you don't have, come on, man, you could have went to Little Caesars and got a $5 Holland Ready for $5. You could have got a $5 pizza and every child could have a slice of pizza. The pizza is cheaper than a Happy Meal. And any man who want to say this dude ain't being a punk and being petty, come on, man. We got to do better. Is it his responsibility? No, you want to say, no, it's not his responsibility, but is his responsibility to be a man? So you mad at kids because you don't get along with the mother?
I agree with Brother Bakari. I agree with him. I agree with him. I agree with my brother. I agree with my brethren, Brother Bakari, as a part of the Simp gang. We are part of the Simp gang. Together.
Don't hype him up, Mr.
No. We are part of the Simp gang. Because I agree. I used to date a chick, right? And she had 2 kids. So when she says she hungry, I got to buy an 8-piece from Kentucky because she have 2 children. She have 2 men, 2 boys, teenagers. So that money split down the middle. But I already didn't know that going in. You know what I mean? I already didn't know that going in. My thinking is this. You know what I mean? Because I'm a Caribbean tether, how I think. I would have gone to, what's a nice grocery store chain or whatever. I could buy a pack of, a $4 pack of ground beef, some buns, and what do you call it? Them cheese thing. What do you call them cheese things? They put on a sandwich. That's what $10 because it's cheap in America. Right. I can make that. That's 8 sandwiches already. I could make that plus some fries. That could probably run me like $12. Feed all of them and still smash home grill at the end of the day. But that's just me. That's just me. Yeah, I mean, that's just me. But I mean, for my thinking, I wouldn't have done that because, like the sister was saying, and how I thinking for myself, I wouldn't go there just bring in. Come on, man. You know that sister. I don't know what the situation is, but you can't go in that house knowing it's 4 mouths plus the mother who hungry. And just say I can bring a sandwich and fries for my child. Come on, man, that's fucked up, man. And then fuck. I would have do. I co-sign what home girl do. I co-sign that. I sorry, maybe it's just me and my reality. You know what I mean? That's how I think. But I figure, and my mother had 4 kids too. And God forbid if my dad had passed and some dude come around or whatever, he can't bring 1 sandwich. Come on, man. Come on, bro. You know what I mean? You already done been there. You know what the situation was going in and understand the situation. You can't just feed 1 mouth and say, well, I fulfilling my duties as a father. That's not right. That's fucked up. And I feel like you either need to cook or you need to bring 4 sandwich. Period.
So some people would say then he shouldn't take shit for none of them then, right?
Yeah, but just don't take it then. Just don't take it. Just don't take it then. You know what I mean?
Yo, man, the funniest. Just don't take nothing for no one. Let's go to Oni. Oni, what say you to this?
So that's why I'm not a part of Simp Gang, you know. Make sure Azuli listens to this one. I'm not a part of Simp. Oh wait, sorry. I said that's why I'm not a part of Simp Gang. Make sure Azuli listens to this because Simps. No, I mean what this lady just did was psychotic. You know, I was cringing throughout. I think the brother I think the brother should use this in court, you know, and just get custody. I don't know what Mr. Untouchable was just saying. He's gone double dip into that, like, like yo, I mean, like, shit. They better have. They don't have no Supreme Court that you can't force a vasectomy. So yeah, you Mr. Untouchable, don't let nobody know where you at because you responsible. Nah, you gonna go back into that? Nah, no. All right. So yeah, that lady was psychotic. See, the thing that we not missing. All right, so I'll say this: my mother did have 3 kids with my father, and then 1 after. And then one day, my father did bring food for all of us except for my younger brother, and it just looked shitty to all the rest of us. However, the reason why it looked shitty to us as kids, because we like our brother, the reason why it looked shitty to us was because it wasn't a regular occurrence. This dude, on the other hand, is doing this, he says, every other day. If he's bringing food for this kid every other day, the mother is taking advantage of him. Because, one, you got to realize, if she got 4 kids or how many kids, she's getting child support, right? She's even getting child support from this guy. So she's calling him up every freaking day saying, your son is hungry, right? And so this father does the responsible thing, which is, if my son is hungry every fucking day, no need to curse, but every day, then I'm going to bring food for my son. I don't know what you're doing with the money you're getting. You got food stamps, you got child support, you got everything that could equip you as a parent to, and you got a job maybe, I don't know, but you got everything that could equip you as a parent to feed your kids, but you're calling me to tell me that my kid is hungry. And I'm going to do what I have to do, which is I'm going to go feed my kid. It don't make no damn sense nowhere for this man to feed her entire family every other day. It don't make no damn sense anywhere. Because it's like, she has the food stamps. It's different if this dude was getting the child support. If he had all the child support and he got all the food stamps, it would make a lot of sense for him to be feeding her family every day. But he don't. And he's going above and beyond to provide for his son, who's clearly being neglected. The other kids are being neglected too, but it's like a big question of where are their fathers? Now, I agree with the premise. The premise is, you don't go to somebody's house and not have to bring food. But again, you don't go to nobody's house you don't go to nobody's house bringing food every day. That's not a thing. You know what I mean? So the fact that she's going to call him to bring food every day. Now, I would think that McDonald's is a bad choice, but still, she's going to call him to bring food every day. He's doing what he has to do for his son to have a viable life or whatever, on top of most likely paying her child support, and probably the only one on time. You know what I'm saying? Paying her child support. She got the food stamps because she has a kid claim. She gets to claim the taxes for this kid. She got free money from the government because the government gives you a child tax credit. All that kind of stuff. On top of all that, she's not feeding his son. He says, look, I got to go and feed my kid daily. Right? And then when he brings the food and get his McDonald's, she takes it and throws it on the ground and records him and says, hey, everybody thinks you're good, but you're not good for feeding your damn son? What the, nah, what? And like I said, man, it was one thing when y'all were like, yeah, sure. I mean, again, if you do this like one time, because like I said, I've visited the sister, I might visit her, maybe every 2 weeks or something like that, right? I feed a kid when I'm there. I feed her kids when I'm there. They're not my kids, but I'm in her house. I got money, whatever, fuck, right? But I'm not gonna feed nobody's kids every day. Like, what the fuck are you talking? Like, where? You got. And then here's my thing. It's like that fact that Mr. Touch was like he would go back in that. Like, what are you talking about? Right? It doesn't make sense. She just took your son's food. She just took food out of your son's freaking mouth, more or less, right? Like your son was like, "Dad, I'm so hungry," but I know my dad coming over with some food, right? Because my dad comes, and she took that food and recorded herself throwing it, and you talking about you gonna tap that ass again? Like, what are you talking about? Like, what?
I gotta get some compensation for spending my money on 4 children.
Hey, I agree. Hey, Mr. Untouchable, with man, you can't go there and not feed them kids, man. But I think it's crazy, Colin. Every other day you taking food. That's absolute. Both of them.
Yeah,
See,
that's the
both
crazy
of
part.
them. Both of them toxic. It's not just her, him too. You taking McDonald's every other day.
Nah,
Both
but
of them.
if your kid not eating, you gotta bring them food. Like that's on it. Like if I found out my son was somewhere, like if my son was somewhere anywhere, like he was like his grandmother's house or whatever, or his aunt's house or whatever, and I found out you're not eating food, yeah, I'm gonna take him food like every day. That's what you're supposed to do as a father. The fact that you're gonna feed the old, like what if she was running an orphanage? You know what I'm saying?
Brother Bakari.
Well, look, I guess.
Brother Bakari.
Yeah, what's up?
You from the South. You from the South, right? So you understand a little bit more than these New York brothers because they sophisticated. when the food short in the house and it's a lot of mouths to feed, what the grandmother used to cook? They used to cook soup. The soup the soup is enough to spread it among a bunch of mouths. You know what I mean?
A sticky chicken, so everybody can get a big pot of boil the chicken.
Bring one hamburger in the house with 5 children, man. That's crazy.
No, see, y'all got to look at this video, but you got to pay attention to the body language and everything. The first is blurred out, but this is not a man that could go into the house. He didn't walk into the house. See, because like he even offered, hey, bring my son out, so that he can sit in the car. What that means is, and she says no. This is a psychopath. Like you. This is not somebody you can just walk into the house and say, okay, I'm gonna cook some soup, or here's some ingredients for soup. She said, come bring some food because your son is hungry, and that's what he did. You ain't gonna bring no. What y'all talking about?
So only let me ask you a question, right? Be honest. You wouldn't take a $5 Holland Ready, or you just continue to buy your child a Happy Meal. Come on, a $5 Holland Ready. I'm talking about the kids. Forget the grown-ups. Forget the crazy ass mom, because she ratchet. She is ratchet as hell. And I'll say here, forget them. I'm talking about if you going, and that's your child, and you're gonna eat. You wouldn't take that $5 hot and ready is cheaper than a Happy Meal.
Something about that $5 hot and ready just cracking me up, man. I don't know what it is.
Fellas.
What I would do is I would bring a good meal for my son, and like $5 hot and ready for the other kids. That's what I would do.
I don't agree with my New York brothers. I could cook a big pot of soup. A big pot of soup for all them people. Y'all too sophisticated with this. Because y'all too used to get into what you call it, the fast food restaurant.
And who gonna
cook a big pot of soup?
Give back to you, or you gonna buy a new pot every time?
I could cook a big pot of soup for that, man.
See, I'm gonna show you something. Slap. I'm from the country, right? Like I'm 50, so I'm probably older than everybody on here, right? And I had old parents, so I got some old ways, right? But anyway, during the summer. My mama never cooked a meal during the summer. My dad sponsored the Little League team. My brother was the coach. My mama never cooked a meal that couldn't feed 15 people. Every summer, whole while I'm growing up, would never cook a meal because she knew those other kids coming by the house might not have nothing to eat. She never cooked a meal that couldn't feed 15 people, ever. And I couldn't just go and take nothing to my child. Like I have grandkids now, right? And the one that ain't none of my, the other ones ain't blood related to me. But I'm not gonna buy nothing for my grandkids, and the other little kid can't get nothing. If I'm getting them something, I'm getting them ice cream. He's gonna get some ice cream too. It's just that simple, man. They forget the parents. We just talking about the kids. Forget the crazy ass parents, because I think both of them crazy. But I'm almost like Mr. Untouchable. Y'all can laugh at me too. You can double dip if you want. I'm just saying. But that's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother story. Forget the parents. Let's just look at the kids being hungry. Only say he'll give his kids a good meal and buy the other little kids a $5 hot and ready. Y'all must not have Little Caesars in New York because they laugh every time I say $5 hot and ready. You just
Now
go
we
to give me
have
a
it.
$5.
We have
Yeah,
it.
give
We
me that
have it.
$5 cheese hot and ready. Well, it's $6 now. Inflation, it went up $6.
Well,
And you got
all right. But
eight
here's the
slices
question.
of pizza.
What are y'all
But
going
every
to
other
do?
day, that's crazy though. Every other day, that's
asked, what are y'all going to do when she throw the soup on you? Now what?
look, that's why you get a hot and ready pizza that she can't throw that on you. But that shit is crazy too. Taking food every other day, you got to take food to your son.
She's using him. She's using him. That's what I'm saying. Like that's my thing. I'll tell y'all the truth. I don't let people use me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I would do something for my kid, but ain't no damn way you gonna be using me.
Yeah.
Like it don't make, like, if you do the mathematics, right? She's getting money for these other kids from the government, right? And from the other fathers. This dude's just going above and beyond to keep his son nourished, because this lady's not looking out for the well-being of her kids. Because see, if you're looking out for the well-being, because I think somebody put a picture and they said, look, she could have just cut the sandwich in 4 pieces and divided the fries. You know? Like she could just
Cool.
But have you ever thought about this on it? Have you thought about this on it?
Y'all got a Lucha in here wild right off talking about she agree with Oni. She agree with Oni. She don't even agree with me.
Hey, Oni, let me ask you a question, Oni. Let me ask you a question. You say he being used. Have you ever thought about that? Maybe he like it. He keep going back doing that every other day, going through that because maybe it's something over there about that woman that he like.
Yeah, it's time with them. Like, it's time. This is the thing with this video. Like the reality of this video, right? The reality of this video is that she pushing this man away because he's not finna come back tomorrow and the day after and the day after. She don't push this man away, and that's how a lot of women end up with fathers that don't come back to their kids, because that's one of the hardest parts about the breakup is that women kind of just use your kid against you to the point where you're like, look, if this is what it means, I'm not even gonna do it. So this is like a really bad video because this man was really doing what he was supposed to do. I mean, I get the idea that again, you're not going, you can't do that. You can't afford it. It doesn't make no sense. You can't do that every other day to feed a bunch of kids. Maybe if you have a big bucket of soup or whatever, right? But nobody does that, you know? And like she would throw it on you. I'm telling you, she would throw it on you.
Let's hear from Jay.
Yes. Fellas, haven't you noticed from the start something weird about the video? I mean, is that a house? It's like she's in a shop. Didn't you notice all the glass where she is? I thought my first thought was she's at a barber shop or something like that, right? Like what's happening? There's too much glass. There's too much windows in the building where she is, and guess what? Newsflash: the woman is a content creator. She's trying to be funny, or she is funny on social media. And guess what? She only has one child.
Oh, I see. So
I was gonna say that some people did say that this video was fake and that there was no other child, but I don't know. Like I saw that circulating, and then like I saw it was deleted because maybe somebody was just saying it was fake, like just to hype it. So I don't even know. But
I saw 3 screenshots in the post that I saw. I saw 3 screenshots. I believe one was Twitter, one was Instagram, and another one, and she's a content creator.
Okay, all right, but the scenario is still a
yes.
It's still a decent scenario to discuss.
Yes. People from the manosphere ran with it. The brother got both of them got harsh critics. The brother was called a bum in the manosphere. People judged him by his car, judged him by his by choosing the type of woman, etc. So we have had an opportunity to speak about real. I mean, common. I don't want to call it common, but this happens all over the diaspora. I mean, the other day, the other episode, one of the topics was how is life in the Netherlands, and I didn't quite answer the question, but life in the Netherlands is, I'm assuming it's like in France or in Portugal or in the United States or in the Western diaspora, and we in my eyes we have the same issues. We our women don't feel protected. Our men are shooting each other and criticizing and gossiping, bringing each other down. It's the same thing. So I didn't really answer the question, but we see this behavior here in the Netherlands too. Like we see it on American, in American media. It's rampant, and we had a chance to let this circle in our domes. That's what I wanted. Yeah, I pass the mic.
All right, thank you.
Hey, can I say one thing right quick? One thing right quick. Watch this, right? So I'm gonna use me for an example. Now we know you can't beat them ratchet women arguing and screaming, right? So sometimes you just got to go ahead and scheme. Cause I'm gonna be honest, my oldest son is 31. I'm 50. My oldest son is 31, and this is probably with some crazy type of stuff I would have gone through, tried to keep me from my son and all that. But I let her win that argument because I can't even argue like that. You can't beat them ratchet women arguing. That's just a fact. They gonna out talk you. So while they doing all that talking, you be scheming. And I knew my son needed to be in a better spot. So my son turned 5 years old. I ended up with custody. I ended up with custody of my son. I'm not going to argue with him. I'm not doing none of that. I wouldn't constantly go through taking food every other day. He want to be there. That's why he's going there every other day with that food. But man, just go ahead, do what you got to do to get custody of your son. Now, if you get custody of your son and he want to see his siblings, are you going to be man enough to let the siblings come by? I was, but the mama was so crazy, she wouldn't let them. I wouldn't have cared if they had came by and stayed a weekend with me. They could even stayed a week with me to see their brother because we lived in different states. But the mama was crazy and didn't want them to come by, but that wouldn't have bothered me. I just wanted to say that a little bit. That's it.
Thank you for that, Brother Bakari.
Take some personal responsibility for their genitals and what they do. Take some personal responsibility. If you mess with a female person and you know full well that she has children from not from you, from your seed, then there's some consequences to that. You can't say, well, I'm gonna just deal specifically with my child and my child alone, knowing full well when you got in a relationship or any kind of situation with that female person that she had multiple children. So you know the consequences. If you don't know, then you're still responsible. So I feel like there's some personal responsibility that's trying to be passed or whatever. Nah, you need to go in the house, either cook some soup and bring it to our house. You need to cook some hamburgers or whatever. It is what it is. I don't understand how my lady side with only in that. I'm gonna check on that later. But I'm sorry. I disagree with y'all brothers with that. I disagree with y'all brothers, man.
I have a question for the panel.
Am I gonna skip? Am I gonna speak? What?
Yo! I'm trying to get through. I'm trying to get to you guys. Just hold tight.
I wanna speak also. But go ahead.
Yeah, no, I want to hear from Tan. I want to break up the male energy for a bit. Tan, what say you to all of what you've been listening to?
Well, I've heard what the men have to say, and I agree with some points, but I still say, I think it was Brother Onu who was saying that if you choose to be with a single woman, especially a woman who already has kids, children, sorry, sister, or children, you already know what you're dealing with. So even before you have children with her, you should already know that you have somewhat of a responsibility towards the other children. Now, if you have children first with her and then she ends up getting children later, maybe that's different. But I still say that if you're going to talk about the women derisively, she has 4 babies by 5 women or whatever. But it's the same thing with the women. When you see a woman and then she's like the 7th baby mama, like after the first, second, and the third and the fourth, like you should get an idea what kind of a guy you're dealing with if he has, at least 3 or 4 baby mamas. And the same thing with the men. If a woman already has 2 or 3 kids by different men, you already know what kind of a woman you're dealing with, and so you should know that she comes with the children. For a man, maybe he can say, well, I only care about my child, forget the other ones. But and I think that at the same time, he probably has like he's buying a lot of McDonald's and just dropping it from place to place. I don't think he's such a saint either. I think he also has multiple baby mamas, so he can't just buy one pizza because he has to drop them several places. So I think they're both equally irresponsible. But with him, when it comes to the children, you can't play favorites. Even if it's your as a man, you can't say, oh well, I'm going to feed this to my children, 2 of my children, and not the third one. You have to feed them both. Same with the woman; she can't feed one of the children that has a somewhat responsible, and I say somewhat responsible father, and then the rest of them just watching in starvation. So I understand her point of view that you knew what you're getting into. You knew that there were other children involved, and so you can't expect. You can make that demarcation as a man, but as a mother, she's not going to sit there and give one of her children more food. But I don't think that she should have thrown the food out at the same time. That's just like I said, both of them are they're made in hell. But both of them have equal irresponsibility. But yeah, the guy is not a saint either. If he knew exactly what kind of a woman he was getting involved with, and that there were other children involved, it's not fair to punish the other children just because they don't have stand-up with dads who bring them McDonald's.
I think Tan mentioned something very interesting that most people wouldn't consider. What if this guy has other children, and he's coming through to take care, to take care and feed this kid, but he has his other kids to go take care of that he's taking care of. Like very few people will question that. Let me get to this impatient panelist here, commonly known as Miss Thang out in the streets. Here we call him Razuli. Miss Thang, what do you got to say about this thing?
First of all, I'm gonna see the simping is strong tonight with these brothers over here. First of all, I don't if a stepdaddy versus a baby daddy is different. A stepdaddy, if you coming in the crib, it looks bad. It's horribly bad for you to just bring something for your kid and not bring for the other kid. But if you're a baby daddy, maybe it looks bad that you're only taking care of your kid, but you're not obligated to bring shit for the other kid. First of all, she said, "How you 2 weeks?" She said her whatever food stamp don't come until 11. So you have nothing in the house to feed the kids. You only counting on the big dad. If you have food in the fridge, and the baby father is bringing McDonald's for his kid, and that's his kid. So I don't believe. Yes, you should. If he brings it, yes, that's a plus. But the baby daddy don't owe you to your other fucking shit. First of all, what is her lack of accountability? His accountability, which the young lady just said, a lady who has 3 or 4 kids, but four different baby mamas, you should not even be having kids with her. That's his part. But to me, for him, if you're a stepdaddy, or if you're in a relationship with the mother, you live with the mother, like that's your house, you guys live together. Yeah, if you bring in McDonald's, it looks bad and it's terrible that you don't even have to bring an extra burger. You could just buy the 10-piece meal, some nuggets, and share it. But at the end of the day, for these guys to be on this talking about, oh, he's wrong, he ain't shit, oh, he's wrong for not bringing food for, that's not his kid. A stepdaddy, yes, I agree 100%. You stepdaddy, you wrote the contract. If you're a living boyfriend or whatever, yeah, bring food. If you bring in food, yes. The thing is, my man was trying to look out for the kids. Let the sun come down. Come in the car, we go for a ride, you eat, and you go back in there. She wasn't even going for that. She want to force control him to buy food for her other kids. Yeah,
Coco.
Oh no, Mr. Untouchable,
Yeah.
you were simping for a while. You were simping for a while.
I'll wait.
Because you simp a lot. Talk about I feel what? No, because at the end of the day, he said, "Yo, all right, let him come down. We go around and buy the food If the mother was really caring about, okay, here, Mike, go down with your pops. I go into the park and let him eat the food. If you don't want to embarrass or make the other kids feel bad, at the end of the day, you take the thing and you throw it in the floor and all of that. Only in America. She would have never did that in the Caribbean. She would have never did that in the motherland. So at the end of the day, who lost?
So now you hear the Prince of Port-au-Prince just talking just now. So the Prince of Port-au-Prince just said, now remember this now. I want you to record this now. He said he said that the man should only take care of his child. Didn't he say that? Okay, so now
that's not what I said. That's not what I said. I said if the man want to only bring McDonald's for his kid, we can't fault him. That's his kid. But if he does bring extra for the other kids, that's a plus. But especially in our time we live in right now, he's not obligated to every day bring McDonald's for his kid, and especially if he's not a living boyfriend, if he's just a baby daddy.
Okay, good. So now you hear what the Prince of Port-au-Prince say just now. So now when Haitians come to the Bahamas, and Bahamians are Bahamian centric and say, well, our food for only us. Why are we sharing with the Haitian people now?
Stop. You cannot compare that. The Haitian niggas pay taxes in the Bahamas. Stop that bullshit. You simply stop that shit.
Prince, I let you talk, Prince. So now, when we practice this whole idea of xenophobia, now I don't want to hear you talking about we a bunch of Uncle Toms and sellouts because the Bahamians decided to say, oh, okay, it's an insular issue. They need to take care of their own issues. Because it's the same thing, it's the same principle.
Where this guy logical fallacy? Where your logic school at, man? Yo, get out of here.
Nah, it's not. That's not logical fallacy.
Why is it fallacy?
It's the same thing.
All of them, we're talking about like this
I'm not even going to enter that. Because that don't even make sense to me.
Exactly. Haiti.
He's mad. Let the Prince of Port-au-Prince
because you know why? The people in the Bahamian work, they pay money, they pay taxes, they do all of that. So it's not like they're getting it for free. They pay taxes too. So stop saying that, oh, they're just there for free. Are they there for free? They're not working? They're not contributing to your economy? Stop saying that.
You get food for working. That's it. That's the truth.
Shout out to Haiti. My good brother is really in the house.
Well, let me actually. I want to add this though. There's this African proverb that goes, if you stay in somebody's house for like 3 days, you get fed or whatever. But after 3 days, you gotta grab a hoe. And by hoe, they mean like you gotta work, you gotta so on and so forth. I think the issue here that we just kind of skipping over is that this dude was, allegedly, obviously. So shout out to Jose for pointing that out. But to reminding me that that was because as soon as I saw this video, I was kind of just outraged, like to the point where I was just like.
But only she did a backup video where she explained herself, and then they said it was fake. So I don't know if it's really fake. She had a video where she said that the guy does that, and then they get intimate from time to time, and he's still bringing sometime food.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's weird. Like I can't tell if it's fake or real because I saw that follow up where she's like, nah, blah blah blah, and like it looked like the performance that we saw looked authentic. If they pretended that, it would make a lot of sense because like the setting is kind of off, and the fact that she threw the food, like what mother in their right mind is going to throw the food if their kid is hungry? But at the same time, it's like. It looks so authentic that I got flashbacks. You know what I'm saying? I never deal with those type of women. I was like, what? But yeah, the problem, like I said, the problem goes that. So it's really a matter. And like I said, it's different if he was living with her. And see, my perspective is this. You know, when I was like I said, I started visiting the sister so my son could have play dates and stuff, right? And the first day I'm there, the second day I'm there, I decided I'm gonna order some food for us, from a restaurant that she liked. And that just was Jollof, right? It's Jollof. I got Jollof. I usually order it when I'm at my place. $14 a plate, So I'm counting her kids. Like, hold on a second, right? I'm like, okay, I'm gonna share a plate with my son. Like, now usually I might just get a plate with my son. I don't know, but I'm sharing it. So I don't know, because that's another thing that makes this video seem fake is the McDonald's part. Like, who the hell is feeding their kid McDonald's? But like, if it were me,
only you'd be surprised.
Give my kids the McDonald's. I give the other kids the McDonald's and give my kid the Jollof. You know what I'm saying? but like that. This whole. But on the real, like if this is real, I mean like the dude is just doing you can't expect nobody to just feed your whole family every time they visit and they just drop it off. Not like they staying over, not like they spending 3 hours there or 4 hours there. If they just dropping off food, you can't expect them to just come in and drop off food for.
But I do though. I'm thinking in my head. I'm thinking a bag of rice and 2 cans of tuna could feed a family of, and maybe I'm a tether because
she got food stamp, bro. Where's her accountability? Has she already ran out of food stamp for the month?
But Zuli, you first of all, you already done been there. I ain't talking about been there in the corner, Louis. So you understand the woman had children before. So I mean, you can't say that I only could bring a sandwich and a drink for my child alone.
It's not you're Mr. Untouchable. What you're not listening. So when does it stop? So if I buy my son a Jordan, I have to buy them the Jordan too? When does it stop? When does it stop?
It stops when you decide. Hey, I can't date a woman with 4 or 2 children because it's beyond.
Stop, Mr. Untouchable. You're
hold on.
I want to cut in here.
Let's hear from the forecast and then Jay. Forecast.
No,
go ahead.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to say something real quick because I agree with JB Jose. Sorry for my American accent, whatever. Too much glass. You know what I'm saying? Like if Abraham Lincoln is black, this video is fake to me. You know what I'm saying? But assuming it's real, you know what I'm saying? This points out everything that this whole show, this whole broadcast has been about. The black family, because that's the whole problem. The community part of it, that's the whole problem. And then when we come into together, you know what I'm saying, like this just shows like where we are as a people, you know what I'm saying, like with this whole thing, you know what I'm saying? Because speaking of confidence, like what do you think, if it's real, like what do you think her son's confidence is going to be after this, you know what I'm saying? So maybe his generation lost too, but I'll pass the mic.
Thank you very much for that one, brother. Yes, sir. That's we're breaking the confidence of our next generation. But what I wanted to say, I forgot to tell what I would have done, right? Mm-hmm. So I stand with the brother and why? It's a learning point each and every time that he comes. For everyone, it's a learning point. For the quote unquote wretched mother, for the 3 other children, and for his son, it's learning. It's like, oh, this is how it's supposed to be, right? Because if he is forced to feed the other 3 also, aren't our diaspora communities saturated with entitled little kids of over 20? The entitlement is so strong in our communities. And where does it come from? It comes from I don't want to, I wish the term simp did not exist, but it comes from so-called helpers that you're creating entitled adults instead of responsible adults. So these three other children, they see a man bring for his child, taking care of his child, or maybe more than taking care of his child, because McDonald's ain't food, right? But there's a learning, there's a lesson to learn there. It's a harsh lesson, it's a harsh lesson, but he's not creating three entitled adults, or children, right? So I would have done the same, but conscious, right? And I would prefer to take my son apart, right? Either go to McDonald's, or pass those minutes with him in the car or outside around the corner, right? But I would do it as a learning moment, also, each and every time.
But also, Jose, I agree with what you're saying. It's like, what if the guy was just came off of work? He's like, he had to rush off of work and drop the food and go off. All I'm saying is, it's noble if he brings more for the other kids. But if that's all, he's not obligated to, especially if he's a baby father. The woman should be more accountable, should be more concerned about who she sleeps with. Why would you even give Nookie to a guy that will only bring food for his kid?
We got to be equally accountable, though, bro. Like, yo, you got, like, I can't get a woman who I know is like trifling or whatever. You know, I can't get her pregnant. You know what I'm saying? I know I cannot do that.
This is what I just said. I said he's accountable for knowing that she had three different, and her attitude comes out of the video. But at the end of the day, a baby father versus a stepdaddy or a living boyfriend are different. The obligations are different. Like, y'all be seeing. So I mean, how many of y'all been driving, stop at the light, and a homeless man knock at your door and ask for $5? And how many of y'all give money? Y'all don't give shit. Talk about, oh, lazy ass, go get some work. But this one is different.
Now, I used to, what I used to do? I used to take people that ask me money. I used to take him to the spot. You want a Snicker or you want a hamburger, you choose. I'm not going to give you money. You said you were hungry, you're gonna eat, and I'm not gonna give you money. That's what I do. But let me speak about experience with quote unquote wretched women, right? So I've been once with a woman that had children of 4 children of 3 fathers. And we were both aged, so it's not long ago. It's about 7 years ago, and my take on it was, we are both aged. I did it for the propaganda. We were activists for Black progress, of course. She said she had land in Ghana. I had. I have done at that point. I did agriculture in Senegal, peanuts and melons and Irish potatoes and those kind of stuff, and in my eyes, I was making an image to the rest of us here in the Netherlands, and I got eaten, I got destroyed, right? Because there's a reason why she has and it was worse than that. She had 3 baby daddies for 4 children, but she had 5 children. So she was married to give someone papers. She divorced before the 5 years, because here in the Netherlands you have to be married for 5 years. In those times, nowadays it's way more, But in those days you had to be married for 5 years. She divorced him for 1 year, and she kept his son. Right. So I was dealing with a demon, right? And if I offend people with the word demon, fuck y'all. No, sorry, I'm not. Swallow it, because they exist. They exist. You know, I was
Let-
dealing with a demon, point blank, and I got destroyed. You know, she ruined my image in here. She ruined my image in Senegal, and I took it. You know, it was, yes. I was a dreamer to think that someone of over 50 is going to change. That's stupid, right? So I was the stupid. You know, I was the stupid one.
mm.
So yes, there is a point in him impregnating this woman after this imaginary woman, because I still believe it's fake. But yes, it's his responsibility for impregnating. He has to take all this shit, because he stepped in this shit, right? So that's also my opinion. But what I would have done is the same, but with an extra layer to make it a lesson each and every time that I do it.
Let's welcome in observing. Um, let's welcome in observing immigrant. Observing, how are you tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Are you Marcus Garvey
Yes. Yeah.
in the chat? Okay, thanks. Thanks for coming through. So you heard everything we had to say. Sister Tan
No problem.
spoke on it as well
Uh,
earlier.
mhm.
What say you to this?
Well, I think the situation is interesting. I don't think I think the mother overreacted, because I don't get the impression that's the first time the father has ever done it. I think that was just the first time she ever tried to put it on camera.
Mm-hmm.
But it made me think of what my brother told me recently, because my mother has 4 children from 4 different men.
Okay.
And I was born in Barbados, but they were born in St. Vincent. And my brother told me the other day that our my brother's the second child, so we have an older sister and a younger sister, and then me. So they would go visit my sister before me. So our third sister is dad, and he was married with kids. And when they took my sister, because she was younger, to visit her father, then my mother's 2 older kids would go with my sister. And my brother said, when he went there to visit at the house, um, my sister's father would treat them like they were just kids. Like, he would feed them. His wife would be kind to them. Like, they didn't differentiate between the fact that these were not his kids, they were not his wife's kids, they were just kids that came over to the house to visit, and they were all treated the same. He said that my brother was like, her dad never made them feel any different when they came over. They he would make sure all of them were fed, that they were all comfortable. And mind you, my mom was in a different country, so it wasn't like he was doing it to impress her.
Mm-hmm.
And his wife was out of the house. So I think it's just a different generation who is looking at relationships
You just cut out there.
different. Huh?
You had cut out
No,
there.
I said it's just a different generation. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. No, I'm saying there's a different generation that's looking at things differently, because my brother and my sisters are closer to 50. So that was years ago, like maybe 40 something years ago. Yeah. So it's a different generation who's looking at life differently. And as I said, my mom wasn't there to be impressed by my sister's dad, but and they had no adult around them where they could have been mistreated in that situation. But my brother looks back at it fondly and says, they were all treated the same, and it didn't have to be that way. So it's just weird. It's a different generation, and everybody's doing things for viral viral situations and likes. But at the end of the day, to me personally, a child is a child. um does the father have to feed the other? It's his choice, it's his money. And I don't think the mother should have acted the way she did. She really felt her kids was hungry, why is she sitting at home waiting for the other father to feed them? As a
Right.
mother myself, if my other kids are hungry, you would be feeding them. You wouldn't be waiting for somebody else's daddy to think. And all my kids are from my one marriage, so
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and there are times when sometimes I would bring home something for one child because as a mother, because I know my child might like something from this particular place, but my other kids might not, you know. So it's just a weird situation, in my personal opinion.
I appreciate that. Erzuli, I'll give you the last words on this one.
Like I said, like the young lady, like I said, I think there's a difference. I'm saying if the baby daddy brought something extra for the kids, that's kudos. That's great. But I still think there's a difference with the baby daddy and the stepdaddy. Like, so what the young lady just said just now about her brother going to, like, there's a bunch of other stories where that was like the family treated the other kids bad. But like she said, in a utopian society, especially in an indigenous society, yes, you take care of all the kids or whatever. But my thing is the audacity of the mother putting pressure on the men. Oh, you have to feed all my kids because they're siblings. No, if he does it out of the kindness of his heart, yes. Maybe he didn't have the money to do it. Maybe he can't do that every other day. And the thing, what's the accountability? How you a mother? She said she gets $1,000. I think, or I heard some $1,000, and $1,000 can last a month. So if he's bringing McDonald's for his kids, just like a plus, so there's no food in the house at all. Like, so what? They can get McDonald's. There's food in the house, right? So they could eat the food in the house. If, like the young lady just said, if you're waiting for him to bring you food, that's just what kind of low vibration thing is this? I just think stepdaddy or living boyfriend have a different contract than just a baby daddy that you just letting hit. And why would you let this man have sex with you from time to time if he's not bringing in food? Like, but I don't think this guy is just only bringing in food. Maybe this time he didn't have the money. And then on his side, you could have just said, bring my son down. And when he did say it, she still got mad. So it's a no-win. At the end of the day, like everybody said, the kids suffer out of this because she threw the food in the garbage. So that's it.
But I just wanted to add just quickly about what Julie was saying, because I agree in the sense of he asked the question, where does it stop? And it kind of comes to like there's another thing a father could do for his son, which is enroll him in private school or something. Like some elite academy that costs a mortgage or whatever, right? But let's say he wants to do that for his son, right? Give his son a better education, right? Should he do that for the other kids? And so I think that, the example of, kids coming over to your house and you treating them like shit is weird. Like you shouldn't be treating kids coming over to your house as shit. But this is not kids coming over to his house. This is him being called every other day to bring food for his kid. And it's like, reality is that if you can't afford that, that's good for you. But the only person who could really afford to pay a kid, to feed a bunch of kids every other day is the person who's getting the food stamps and the person who's getting the child support. The person who's paying the child support can't like it's not even a reasonable ask. It's really not. But I'll just leave it at that.
I'll thank you guys for that conversation. It's that was a good conversation. I think I got to everyone in that discussion. So let's go to Shoot the Breeze topic number 7.